The Arizona Cardinals surprisingly had a really good draft as they had one of the most selections in this year's draft out of any team. They finally got a weapon for Kyler Murray for an offense that just lost Hollywood Brown and needed to fill in some gaps and needed some weapons after back-to-back 4-13 seasons. Kyler Murray was injured for majority of the season last year, but he showed towards the end of the year that he still has it in him and he wants to go out there and compete at a high level. In order to do that though, they needed quite a few pieces. They needed to find a number one receiver to pair up with Murray, but also needed to help restructure this defense that has been struggling. Prior to the draft, the Cardinals general manager Monty Ossenfort had made it clear he was open to the possibility of trading up from the 4th pick to add on to the draft pick haul, but just wanted to see what the Bears, Commanders, and Patriots were going to do first. He said he wasn't going to make a decision on moving down until the Cardinals were on the clock, so it was no surprise that when Marvin Harrison Jr. was still available at the number 4 spot, the Cardinals went ahead and selected him, as he is the best receiver in this entire draft class and the most anticipated, as he is the son of NFL Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison. A lot of people speculated that him or Malik Neighbors would end up in Arizona, as Arizona needs a receiver to help out this offense, but I never saw Neighbors going there. Marvin Harrison was the best selection for Carolina, as he's the best receiver in this entire draft class. Like I said, Carolina is desperately needing a proven receiver that will grow with this offense and with Kyler Murray, and they just selected their guy. But like I said, I was more surprised with how the Cardinals drafted defensively, as they filled a ton of gaps that this team needed to fill. They already have some decent cornerback depth, but bringing in Rutgers cornerback Max Melton, who they drafted after trading backwards in the draft to get an additional 3rd round pick and add to their draft haul. Melton improved every single year in college. His sophomore year, he allowed a 92.3% QB rating when he was in coverage of an intended receiver. Then it dropped all the way to 65.7% as a senior, so you can see by that alone he improved a ton. The Cardinals have cornerback depth, but needed to add a playmaker to the room, as Melton has good size to take on big receivers downfield. He also had a great combine workout and was clearly the cornerback the Cardinals wanted to select. They also, with the 27th pick, selected defensive end Darius Robinson out of Missouri. Robinson was a first-team All-SEC player last year with 8.5 sacks and a great upside to his game. Arizona needed a boost in their pass rush and added Robinson to this roster late in the 1st round was a smart selection by Ossenfort. The Cardinals needed as much help as they could get on the defensive line, so adding another pass rusher who's going to improve year after year is a great selection for this team. Another developmental piece they drafted in this year's draft was Elijah Jones from Boston College. Just like the previous corner they took, Jones has a great pass coverage skills and knows when to attack the ball once it is up for grabs. The main concern scouts had for him though was his weak run defense and could be a concern going up against guys like McCaffrey or Kyron Williams, but he should be able to develop into a future starter for this team. Like I mentioned, the Cardinals were a team that had some of the most draft selections in this year's draft, and they did a really nice job at spreading the picks around to cover every area that they needed to. The Cardinals now have a huge boost to their offense with the best receiver to come out of this year's college class. Kyler Murray has been needing a receiver like this. Even the day of the draft, Kyler Murray was really excited about the selections they were going to make, and he had faith that they made all the right choices, because when you look at the history of this team, some great receivers came out of Arizona like Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins, and now adding the son of Hall of Famer receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., this is like a breath of fresh air for Murray and the rest of the offense and the team overall. We've seen this team and franchise find success in the regular season and win games, but haven't seen them be able to get over the hump for some time now. But by adding guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and a ton of defensive selections that bring this team in the right direction, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to go into this offense and raise the ceiling instantly, as he will help improve their franchise quarterback. Harrison is such a productive player who can get open when needed and can win at a high point, so Kyler Murray will be able to throw the ball up to him and have him go up and grab it. The Cardinals are doing everything they can to help improve the future of this team by bringing in younger guys that will develop into key pieces of this team in the future. It was unclear what the Cardinals were going to do with the 4th round pick, as a lot of people said they should trade back in the draft and add to their draft haul, but the Cardinals did everything they can to make sure they selected the right receiver to pair up with their franchise quarterback Kyler Murray, who still can play at a high level and one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He can be, at least he showed that last year towards the end of the year, how he still has it in him and wants to go out there and compete. He just needed help. By adding a receiver like this will help out this offense a ton. The Cardinals got better after this year's draft, and that's ideally what you want to do in any situation drafting anybody. You want your team to instantly improve, and that's what this team went ahead and did. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray are going to be a quarterback wide receiver duo to look out for in this year's season, because we've seen what Kyler Murray can can do with an offense. We've seen them have high win seasons, but it's been some time now. So adding a receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be exciting for this entire franchise to boost the offense in general. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment down below how you feel about the Arizona Cardinals draft, and make sure you subscribe and leave notifications on so you never miss a Cardinals video or any video in general.